I saw you quickly at the Met Gala that was here in New York. That big, it's a beautiful thing. They raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
And man, you are a knockout. You look gorgeous. You stuck to the theme. Look at this Gilded Age. Look at this dress. I mean, what is that all? Is that all hand?
Yeah. One of the coolest things about this dress is it was built here in New York. It weighed 70 pounds. And
70 pounds.
70, and it had 25,000 gold paillettes that were hand sewn. So I think one of the coolest things about the Met Gala is that it's an opportunity for designers to dream really big. And Joseph Altuzarra created this gorgeous dress. It was brought to life by all these New York-based master craftsmen, and it was really, I mean, it's an honor to wear this beaubeaut beautiful dress in public.
What is it like walking around with 70 pounds on you?
I napped for 3 days afterwards. I did some Pilates in preparation. I mean, it was heavy. I feel like it took us about an hour to get there in the car because of traffic. So I was standing, so I didn't disrupt the paillettes. And by the time I got there,
you're standing in a...
I was standing like, you know, just trying not to bite it on the way there.
Wow.
And then by the time I got there, then you wait in a line before you then walk up about 50 stairs.
Yeah.
So
you really have to have stamina.
Really got to work out.
So you threw down eating a couple of power bars. You're
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm almost there. Hold on. Yeah.
Eat some jerky on the
yeah,
the
exactly.
line. Yeah.
And did you get to, when you went finally to the gala, did you walk around and talk to people?
Absolutely not. No, I got there and
laid
I was
on the ground.
Thank God. And just sat down and didn't move the rest of the night. At one point, I braved going to the bathroom, and everybody just looked at me like they felt sorry for me. You know, I was walking so slowly, and my whole dress was going down the hall of the Met. And then at some point, I ran into Lizzo, who looked incredible.
Yeah, she's
and
cool.
Oh my God, she looks so amazing. I'm such a fan. I am someone who kind of short circuits when I meet my heroes. And I just saw her, and she looked at me and she went, "Marvelous." And I was like, you are, oh my, you are. And there was nothing out the other side. I just said you are for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you are. Yeah.
You are.
You just couldn't think of how to finish it?
If she was a fan, she isn't anymore. But she was lovely, and she...
Do you freak out? Like, do you get, you like fangirl out?
Yes.
All right, no,
I did, the last person that I have to was, I ran into Jon Stewart at a Knicks game, who was like, "I love the show," and I was like, you are,
oh my God. Well,
you are Jon Stewart.
You are Jon Stewart.
You
Absolutely,
are him.
You are. All right, well, Lizzo, Jon Stewart, if you're watching, Rachel's a fan. And you really are. You really are. You are.
You really are.
You really are.
You are.
That's all they need to know. That's all they need to know. How are the dogs? Last time you were nice enough to come on our show through Zoom because of COVID and precautions, and we did yoga with our dogs.
We did.
Yeah.
Which they were, mine was better than yours at yoga.
My dog Gary was like, I'm good.
Gary was like,
yoga.
No, thank you.
No.
No, the dogs are good. I took them to see a pet medium recently.
Wait, a pet medium?
Mm-hmm. A pet medium. So she promises to connect deeply with your dogs psychically and then tell you about them. So, you know, I feel like I went into it.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll give her number. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So she can tell you what the dog's thinking.
Yeah, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their
Walk me through this. What happens? Where is she? Where are you?
So a friend of mine swore that this pet medium cured their cat of flying anxiety.
Okay.
And so I thought, you know, my pets could certainly be cured of some anxiety, so I should give this pet medium a call. And you know, I thought, like, I'm a skeptic. I'm not someone, I should clarify that to this. I'm not someone who's like, sign me up for a pet medium. That's what I need in my
You need
life.
a little convincing.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give the pet medium a try. You know, best case scenario, I form a deep and intimate relationship with my dogs. And worst case scenario, I have a great story to tell you. And
all right, I want to know where this kind of lands.
Neither of those things happened.
Okay, interesting.
And she goes, "Do you have a question for them?"
Oh.
And we're like, "Yeah, you know, I feel like everybody kind of wants to know this. Like, what do our dogs think of us? What do they think of us?" And she goes, "Okay,
Now, is she holding on
They
to the dog's paw or anything?
Well, no, she's on the phone.
She's on the phone.
She's on the phone, so I'm just imagining that she...
You got a really good connection.
She's on the phone. She's got a deep connection.
Deep connection over the phone, okay.
She goes,
Let me hear the dog breathe. All right,
yeah. She goes, they think you're fine. They think you're fine. And we were like...
Like, where do I Venmo the money to?
Okay,
yeah.
And then we go, okay, all right, we're gonna go with this. What do they think of each other? And she goes, they think they're fine. And we were like...
You're amazing. You were amazing.
Okay, all right. And it went on like that. And eventually we're like, okay, obviously this is BS. So we started asking her all these leading questions. We're like, we got to get at least something funny out of this. Yeah. So one of our dogs, he stares into space very intently. And we've always wondered if he sees dead people. So we asked her, we're like, she's gonna have something good to say.
Yeah, she has to have a few tricks.
Madam Pet Medium, does Winston see dead people? And she goes, he thinks there could be food there. We were like...
Please do not give me this woman's number at all.
Here's the thing. If I was a pet medium...
Yes.
It is a service to humanity. Yes. Right? People need this kind of hope in their life. If I was a pet medium and people were like, what do my dogs think of me? I'd be like, they think
love you.
You are maybe actual royalty. They've never seen it before.
Yes.
They think you are a queen.
They didn't even know
what would you say?
Is. Of course I would. I would say, oh my gosh, both of your dogs are so impressed by how you stand up on two legs. They are. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and now I feel better.
Yes, and you feel better about yourself. I'd have a whole list of fun things.
And if you're like, does Winston see dead people? I'd be like, yes. Yes.
Why not?
Does.
Yeah.
It was a royal disappointment, and I'll give you her number anyway in case you want to give it a go.
Yeah, and I'll get a story, and I'll give you my story.
Thank you, please.
I want to talk about this because I love podcasts, and this is a scripted podcast on Audible, The Miranda Obsession. This is a true story. This is a real thing.
So it's inspired by a true story of this woman named Miranda Grosvenor, who was a model, kind of a socialite in the 1980s predominantly.
Yeah.
And she would call some of Hollywood and sports and music's sometimes politics, most famous men, and developed these intimate relationships, not sexual, like intimate friendships and things with them on the phone. And not all was exactly as it appeared. And you'll have to give it a listen to find out why.
But how did the story get out?
So there was an article written in 2000 in Vanity Fair that talked about, it interviewed a bunch of the men, Billy Joel and I think Paul Schrader was interviewed. There's a bunch of these men who spoke about their experiences with Miranda, but that story was told largely through the perspective of the men. A male journalist, did the research on this. It's a really, really brilliant, interesting article. But a team of women, my partners who are a bunch of women, we wanted to just dig a little bit deeper into this story and look at it through a female lens and see kind of why she may have made these calls, what prompted her to pick up the phone, and what she gained from it. So this story is kind of an exploration of all those things.
Congrats on that. I mean, the Miranda obsession right there. Let's talk about Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
We love you so much, and I've had you on the show for that great show, but now it's just announced you got picked up for season 5, and it will. But season 5 will be the final season of the series.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, is that bittersweet, or you go like, nope, I kind of know Amy will wrap it up?
Well, both. It is definitely bittersweet, but also know that she's going to wrap it up. It's going to be an epic last season, and it's going to be full of twists and turns and surprises, but definitely bittersweet. Yeah. I mean, Amy let all of us know that it was going to be our last season, and I actually saw her later that night. About once a year, I take her out for Irish coffee, I get her wasted, and I make her tell me what's going to happen in the next season. But this time, it was more bittersweet. This time we just kind of reminisced, and so heading into this season, I know absolutely nothing about what's going to happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nothing at all. I have no idea.
I know season 4 a lot of it was shot during the pandemic, and and shut down, and everyone had to be safe.
Yes.
And I think that you came up with, or someone came up with some invention for you that I've never seen before, because you couldn't really wear a mask because you wear wigs in the show.
I wear a wig, yes.
Yeah, and beautiful hats, and but you can't
I couldn't put a mask over my ears.
The lace on the wig, yeah.
Yeah.
So you invented something called the, this is the Cobrella.
Well, I wish I could take credit for this invention. This had nothing to do with me. Our COVID team came up with this solution. There's a little HEPA filter right here that filters the air inside my literal bubble. I was the bubble girl for about 6 months.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So you would go from your trailer to the set or wherever you have to go?
Yeah, trailer to set, wherever I needed to go, would hold this little umbrella.
Every day?
As adorable as it looks, by the end of the season, I was ready to throw it into the Hudson. or I'm ready to, you know, one day I feel like when future humanoids dig up our piles of trash out of the depths of the earth, they are going to find this, and they're going to have a lot of questions.
They're like, yeah, what are they going? Yeah, or just donate to the Paley Center just to see, like, what we did for TV.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. Yeah.
I think you're phenomenal in this, and I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Rachel Brosnahan in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Take a look at this.
No more opening act gigs. What? I will only do gigs where I can say what I want. Midge, that's what Lenny would do. That's different. He's Lenny Bruce. Well, then make me Lenny Bruce. Make me a headliner. How am I supposed to do that if I can't even book you? I don't know. You're my manager. Manage me. Miriam, I hear you. I do. But you know as well as I do, that's not how the business works. Then let's change the business.
Yeah, let's change the business. Rachel Brosnahan, everybody, season 4 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, streaming now on Prime Video, and all episodes of The Miranda Obsession are on Audible right now. Jack Harlow joins us after the break. Stick around. Come on back. Hey, hey.